This is Smarter San Diego TV.
Here is what they don't want you to know.
Owning a home is the cornerstone of any good financial plan or retirement strategy. I mean, that's the real reason we buy real estate.
You've got to be smarter if you want to be successful. That's what this show is for.
This is going to blow your mind. You're going to share this with everyone you know.
I guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else.
If you do nothing else in your lifetime to save for retirement other than own your home free and clear, you're going to be okay.
And now, here's your host, Derek Evans.
Welcome to Smarter San Diego TV. This is the place right here where you get smarter, and it's all commercial free. Thank you for joining us. And when I say us, of course, I mean me and Rebecca Peters, my co-host.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing on this fine,
What's
crisp
up?
day?
Fantastic holiday season. Now, I know Thanksgiving isn't really something that you celebrate in England, right?
No.
You don't celebrate
it was
that
never
at all?
anything that I celebrated until we actually moved here in 2001.
Do you celebrate it now?
No. Our family celebrates it now that we're here.
Yeah.
However, I learned last year and completely forgot until a couple days ago that England now celebrate Black Friday.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. It's like, when does the Christmas shopping start? Do they have Black Friday in England?
Yeah, it's a new thing. I was there in 2012 for Thanksgiving.
Really?
And I didn't see any Black Friday craziness. We went out to London on that Friday, and it was fine. And then last year, I saw family members posting about Black Friday shopping.
It's got to be the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, people are beating each other up for like $9 screwdrivers.
Or $9 off a screwdriver,
yeah,
you know?
It's so strange. The deals aren't even that good. And by the way, folks, you can buy all this stuff online.
Yeah, and that's what it seems like. This Black Friday wasn't really on Friday. It seemed like it was the whole week of just sales and deals for all these different outlets.
Totally.
Because we were looking for a TV and...
Oh, good time to buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went shopping for my daughter, just need to buy her clothes, and everything was like 40% off, just happens.
It's nice. It's nice, but we're in
It is.
a shopping season, so there's going to be deals for the next 25, well, next month, really.
Yeah, really the next month, everything and anything is on sale. So, except for this show, we are not for sale. We do have some great guests today, though. First guest today, Shawn Cassidy.
The leader of the H2G revolution.
That's right. Do you know what H2G stands for?
I don't.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
It's head, heart, and gut. This guy's book, From Fears to Freedom, he literally writes about everything you need to know about in life. It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, he talks about professional aspects, how to be a good salesperson. He talks about life aspects, how to get over fears, how to get over anxiety, how to be a leader. He literally covers everything. Here's what's really cool about him, and I'll show you his book. The way that he writes, he uses all aspects of grammar and all aspects of italics, bold. He uses different fonts for different words. It's crazy. Like, if you showed it to an English teacher, they'd probably be like, what is this? But it's so cool because he really highlights different things using it, and it actually makes it easier for me to read it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just from doing the research, I'd really like to get my hands on one of his books.
I have a feeling he'll bring a copy in today.
Oh, well, maybe it has my name
perhaps
on it.
just for you. Might even get a signature. Shawn's a really cool guy. Great history of helping veterans. Came from a military family. Continues to support veteran organizations. Is huge in the military community here in San Diego. So really looking forward to having him. Billy Colestock is back as well today.
Yes. He has a special guest as well.
He has a special guest. Doing tons of really good things happening. I know this is sort of the month for it. But Billy is bringing on a guest. They're doing tons of stuff in the community. Billy is doing a ton in the community. Food drives like crazy, all sorts of charitable stuff that he does. And we've got more of that a little later in the show, but Voltaire's here today too.
Voltaire's here with a very interesting topic for San Diego.
You know, commercial real estate is one of those things where everyone just kind of wrote it off at the beginning of the crash. Well, I guess I should say it towards the end of the crash when residential housing was really having trouble. People thought that commercial was just bound to be next and it was going to be awful forever. But that's where opportunities are, and so they're going to highlight some of those opportunities today. Should be really interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Carlsbad is here.
Yes.
And he's bringing on a charitable organization today.
He is Casa de Amparo.
I believe that's how you say it, actually.
Okay.
That's correct. That is a children's charity. Let me tell you something. A lot of times, people, and myself included, we give to children in other countries and stuff like that. There are kids right here in San Diego who need help.
Yeah.
Tons of them. And Casa de Amparo, that's exactly what they do. So if you really want to help children in your backyard in San Diego, this is a charity that you can look to for that. And we should start calling him Mr. Scripps Ranch. Scott Ryan is here.
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming in today. He's brought on some of the leaders in Scripps Ranch from the Civic Association and others. He's got great guests planned for next year, too, by the way. Really, really cool stuff. Today's coming by himself to just sort of round up kind of what happened in Scripps Ranch this year and what we're expecting to see next year in Scripps Ranch. So that should be interesting, too. It's really an interesting area of town because prices went up so much and they stayed there and everyone thought it was overpriced and they continued to go up.
I like Scripps Ranch. It's on my radar. It's in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a place.
I'm slowly but surely moving my way up San Diego. Scripps Ranch is next.
It's next. So for Scripps Ranch, you really have to be, I mean, people don't leave it. They don't leave.
No.
That's the reason why prices keep going up, because there aren't any houses for sale, because people just don't leave.
It's a beautiful community.
It really is. And Scott is a great leader there and a great correspondent for us to have because he knows everybody there. So great stuff there. I don't know what to expect for the rest of the day, and I never do. But I'll tell you this, I got a really good feeling about today. We'll see if it comes through. Time for me to get my jacket on, man. It's time to start the show.
The next guest on Smarter San Diego TV is the author of From Fears to Freedom and the leader of the H2G revolution. Please welcome to the program for the first time, Shawn Cassidy.
Very nice.
Thank you.
He's here. Shawn, what's up, man?
It's good to see you.
How you doing? Yeah,
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Great
Thank you for having me.
So H2G, the revolution. H2G.
It is a revolution.
I alluded a little bit to what H2G means already in the open of the show, but why don't you tell us what it means and ultimately what it means to you?
Sure. The simplest way to look at it sometimes, people think of H2O to survive. Without it in 3 or 4 days, we're gone, right?
Yeah.
H2G came to me in the middle of the night. It was almost this epiphany, but H2G stands for head, heart, and gut. And an operational definition, if I can share it with you, is probably the best way to share it with the viewers.
Sure.
And essentially what that is, it's to adopt and to inspire people through an H2G, a head, heart, and gut mindset on a daily discipline basis. So it's a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual mindset. And the whole goal is to develop that daily discipline plan to do the most important thing in our life, build meaningful and trusted relationships.
Yeah.
And people ask, if I may, what's the big why? Why do we do that? We do that so that we can realize growth, happiness, and success, whatever success may be in our lives, Derek.
Right. Yeah, and you've experienced a lot of that, and I want you to tell the story about the eagle here in just a second. But your book, which I've dove into recently, is really interesting. Not just the way that you've punctuated it, which I really like. You write with a lot of emotion. I can tell when you are like, because it's like bold and twice as big a font, you know, which is how I write. So I love it.
Thank you.
But your book is really about everything, from fears to freedom. You're talking about anxiety. People have anxiety about different things. They have fear of failure and things like that. You address all those things. You also address professional items and how to conduct yourself, how to be a leader. There's so much in this one book, and it all revolves around the H2G idea, right?
Absolutely. Fear is something, when we think of our brain, we've got 80 to 100 billion neurons in our brain. And what's amazing to me is 2/3 of every thought that goes through your 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day that go through your head, 2/3 of every thought is somehow related or connected to what? Fear.
Fear.
Fear. Now, fear I may be late, fear I may drop the ball, fear I might not perform at the level of expectation they want me to. A lot of people have that fear. So what's on the other side of fear? Freedom. How do we get there? We have to first identify the fear, understand the fear, manage the fear, and then finally overcome it. And that's the biggest issue that a lot of corporations and companies are facing today. It's that fear of failure, or how am I going to perform at this particular level?
Right. And fear is something that's, I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is something that you experience, like you said, I'm going to be late. I'm going to miss my appointment. Somebody's going to book the conference room when I've already got it booked. Whatever it may be that's going on. You know, there's fear involved in those types of things.
Absolutely.
But that's not a good place to be. So if 2/3 of our thoughts are like that, then we really have to do some work in order to try to not let it consume us.
Exactly. people are obviously handicapped when fear overcomes them, right? Most of us do well in an easy, stable situation, but we're under deadlines, we're under pressure, we have a chaotic situation. You take our special forces, for example, and they're part of the leadership team that we may get into. They're put under a situation, many times a life and death situation.
Right.
There's a timetable, there's a mission, and it has to be accomplished. If fear overwhelms them, or fear is a big part of their operation, it's doomed for failure. So they know how to take that situation and overcome fear. It's all about freedom. It's all about, the execution, the plan, the mission, and getting it done.
Right.
And to be able to do that for most of us in the work environment, that's a big challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And we'll talk about H2G leadership, because that's a big thing, in the book, and of course what you do in your public speaking and whatnot as well.
Yes.
But I'd love for you to tell us a story about this guy right here. Special guest, our other special guest.
Okay, our other special guest. Yeah, this bald eagle, which obviously represents our national bird, and our national emblem to represent our country, was given to me as a gift when I graduated at USC in 1981 in undergrad school from my father. And it's just incredible. I've had it this whole time, and it represents actually the logo for the Leadership and Freedom Center. And it's just something that I have, and
it represents the country as well, right?
Absolutely.
Your father was in the military, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he served 4 tours in Vietnam, 4 one-year tours, 63, 65, 67, and 1969. So those were extended one-year tours.
How much did that, growing up in that military lifestyle, if you will, because I know from the book, because I've read parts of the book, that you guys moved around a lot. How much did that impact your writing of this book? And I know that it's in there, but how much of that situation growing up caused you to be who you are today, to write this book?
I think of a lot of it. I mean, when you come from a military type background, you have a situation, and particularly with the military, it's a very structured, situation. But family is also number one too. And we learned at a very, very early age that it's your team. We called it Team Cassidy. And you really did. Your team is everything. So you have to rely on each other. You have to build trust within that, within your organization, within your family.
I was going to say, because, when you move around a lot, as I moved around, and not from a military family, just happened to move around a lot, you do have to go through that cycle of sort of recreating relationships, which
Absolutely.
is the foundation of the book.
Absolutely.
Building, meaningful and trusted relationships, right?
Yes.
So when you move, you have to do it all over again. And you have to do it all over again. But the good thing about that, if you happen to be in that situation, is that you get the practice.
Right.
Right? Is
that absolutely. Yeah, the more you do it, the more you go through it, the better hopefully you're going to be at it, right? If you're committed to it.
Or the more insight you have on it.
The more insight, right.
Practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. And it teaches you. There's a term they use in the military. You have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So when you're put in uncomfortable situations like that, what do you do? How do you improvise? How do you adapt to a certain situation? And then how do you overcome it, right? Mm-hmm. So that you can cope. Not only cope, but how can you exceed? How can you thrive? How can you do well in that particular environment? And again, it all foundationally comes down to trust. And as you probably recall in the book, there's 7 steps that are referred to building that trusted relationship ladder, Derek. It starts with likability. People say, well, how do you build trust? Well, first you have to understand trust. What's the makeup of trust? It starts with likability. People like working with people they like, right? For the most part. And if we can't get past there, we can't even move up the ladder. And real quickly, and we don't have much time here, then it goes to understanding. We have to understand people. This day and age, we don't take the time to really understand people. Their background, their cultures, their upbringing, their education, their beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Did they grow up the son of a pig farmer in Lee Summit, Missouri? Or did this person grow up in an orphanage, in New York? Tell me a little bit about the background of this person. We have to spend more time knowing and understanding people. So you go from likability to understanding to demonstrating core competency. How important is that? To have the skill set, both intellectual competence and what I refer to as emotional competence, emotional intelligence. We have to understand ourselves, our own self-awareness, as well as the emotions and understanding of other people. If you can't understand that, again, how do you build trust?
Right.
So we go from likability to understanding to demonstrating core competency. I tell people, you can be an Einstein in this world. You can be brilliant. But if you can't articulate it and you can't demonstrate your core competency, what good does it to you?
Right.
Right? Next ladder is opportunity. What do you do with that opportunity? When you're given that opportunity where somebody likes you, they understand you, you've demonstrated the core competency skills. Now they're going to give you an opportunity. You're either going to knock it out of the park, or you're going to trip and stumble, or you may fail.
Yeah.
The question is, will you be given a second chance opportunity if you drop the ball or if you fail? And many times there's circumstances beyond our control that cause that failure, right? So the question is, how do we deal with that? Where would you and I be here today without a second chance opportunity?
Right.
Meaningful and trusted relationships. If that trust is built, you may be given that opportunity. If not, you won't. And then you go up to respect. And I tell people respect is earned. It's not an entitlement. We have to earn respect.
Absolutely.
Some people think it's a birthright, right? Unfortunately, but it's not. And then ultimately you get to trust. That's the pinnacle. That's where the confidentiality is, the pure integrity is. That's the critical pinnacle that we get to at the end of the day.
Yes.
So once we have that and we understand trust, okay, how do we build it? How do we nurture it? How do we grow it? And that's what we specialize and we focus on with H2G leadership.
Fantastic stuff, Shawn. Thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And I would encourage everyone to check out this book, From Fears to Freedom. You can find this in a number of different places. It's on Amazon.
Amazon's the best place, right? I have small, there's boutique bookstores and out there, but Amazon is probably the best location, best platform to pick it up.
This is an awesome read. I've skipped around and read different parts of it so far. I'll definitely be reading this entire book. I suggest you do the same. From Fears to Freedom, Conquering Your Fears, Finding Freedom on the Other Side. Shawn Cassidy, thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Great
I
stuff.
appreciate you having me.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
The next guest on Smart San Diego TV is our Del Cerro community correspondent, joined by the president of the Grantville-Allied Gardens Kiwanis Club. Please welcome back to the show, Billy Colestock and Alex Zubak.
Yes. All right. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks very much
What's
for having
up?
Thank you.
Kiwanis in the house. So, Billy, first of all, why did you want to bring Alex on today?
I met Alex a couple years ago, just was really impressed by the work he was doing in the community, and so I wanted to highlight that, bring it out, and hopefully get a couple more members for the local chapter.
Okay, of Kiwanis. So, Alex, tell us, what is Kiwanis?
Kiwanis is an international organization, and it really boils down to the local level. There's about 10 chapters in San Diego. I am the president of the Grantville-Allied Gardens chapter. Took over October 1st, and one of our big pushes this year is for membership, so we can get involved in bigger projects in the Del Cerro, San Carlos, Allied Gardens, and Grantville communities.
Tell us about some of those projects that maybe you've done in the past or that you're working on right now.
We just got done a great party over at Kaiser Hospital on Zion. It was their holiday party, the second annual. They are extremely underfunded. A lot of the money in San Diego goes to Rady's Children's. So that's our big partnership to help them, specifically their pediatric oncology ward, so children who have cancer.
Yeah.
They had roughly 40 children who either have cancer or recently passed away from cancer, and their families come to the holiday party. And we provided toys and gifts. There was a mariachi band and a DJ, and Santa Claus was there, and they had
Santa Claus was there. Rebecca!
'Tis the season.
We missed him.
It was a great event, and Kiwanis put in our full support. We've been planning it all year long, and we're looking to do more for Kaiser in addition to that and other things that we do for them throughout the year.
You guys are working with local schools too, right?
Yeah, the local schools, Marvin, Hearst, Gage Elementary School, Lewis Elementary School, San Diego State, Patrick Henry. We support their own smaller clubs that are, call them junior Kiwanis clubs, and they do smaller projects like after Halloween they collect leftover candy and send it overseas to the troops. Anything that they can do in the community, planting gardens. We help them with their back to school events, their fall parties. We cook for them, and anything we can do to get involved in the community and help out.
Yeah, and you guys are trying to, it's essentially Kiwanis is just sort of a community advocacy group then.
Yep.
That's the idea.
Yeah, we do anything we can. It rained, and the American flag over the triangle was all tattered, so we next morning we got on that, got a new flag, and made sure we had one that was in better shape.
I like it. That's awesome, Billy. This is great.
Yeah, no,
for a community.
Doing a lot of good things inside the community. They also have the area right there in LA Gardens that they did something with the light pole and the bricks that paid for that.
Yeah, we had a clock at the triangle of Waring and Zion, and it stopped working. So we raised the funds to get a new clock. And part of the way we raised the funds was we sold bricks to community members. So you could purchase a brick, and it came out really, really nice. The landscaping, you could have your name there, moved in 1950, and we're actually doing another drive, a second wave of brick selling. So if anyone wants to purchase a brick, we're going to even landscape it out a little bit more and make it really, really beautiful.
That's awesome. So you guys are organizing that whole thing. Then you're saying, okay, here's a problem. We need to get a solution for this problem or this challenge, Billy.
Challenge. Exactly.
No such thing as a problem. Just challenges.
It's a challenge.
Just challenges.
Challenges.
I like
and
that.
there's always a solution.
Yeah.
So you guys go, all right, here's a challenge. What we need to do is we need to do this. All right, how are we going to get the funds? How are we going to get the resources? And then you essentially organize all that.
Yeah, we certainly do. We meet every week, Thursday morning for breakfast at 7 a.m. That's a general meeting where we invite guests and we have sing-alongs and we have a great meal and we talk about what we're going to do. We do Student of the Month for all the local schools, and it's a really, really fun way to start your Thursday at 7 a.m. at the Allied Gardens Rec Center.
You also have an evening meeting as well, right?
Yes, thank you, Billy. The second Tuesday of the month at the Benjamin Library is a 7 p.m. meeting for those who either can't make the breakfast because of work or just don't want to get up early.
Well, I think that's so important. I mean, I know that with our schedule, I mean, having that diversity, it's hard to make a lot of club meetings, and so having the diversity in the meeting schedules is good.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now, do you do the sing-alongs in the evening meetings too?
We don't.
Just for the mornings?
Yeah.
So if you want to sing, you got to get to the morning meeting.
Got to get there early to sing.
Beck, you have a question?
So are the meetings, is that a way for the community to get involved with the Kiwanis Club?
Yeah, they're open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can come as a guest, and we talk about our projects. We always have a guest speaker. It could be the editor of the local paper was a recent speaker, a local politician. It could be a school principal. It could be someone promoting a business idea. It varies tremendously. And then we talk about what our upcoming projects are and what we need from each committee and get volunteers for those.
Fantastic stuff. Billy, this is the glue that holds a community together that people don't really think about, they don't really know about. They just see, oh, they fixed the clock. You know, that's what people say. Oh, they fixed it. Oh, they redid that. And they don't really think about who they is sometimes.
This is the way to get involved. I mean, it really is. This is the way at a grassroots level, get involved inside the community, make it better.
The reason why I got involved, I went to one of the breakfast meetings and just fell in love with the people. The members of our Grantville-Allied Garden Club are so sweet and so kind. Some of them have been members since 1960 when our club started.
Wow.
We have World War II vets. We have some amazing members that I truly admire and want to help them continue this legacy that they've been building for 40 years.
Wow. That's awesome. That's crazy, actually, if you think about it. 1960, amazing stuff. Bill, I think it was a great idea to bring Alex on today, and I just wanted to give a shout out to you because I know that you also do a lot of work in the community just through your own personal effort and through your own personal business.
Right.
Can you talk about some of those things that you guys are doing right now?
Well, we just completed our Thanksgiving food drive. We collect food throughout the community. We drop off bags at about 1,500, 2,000 doors.
Wow.
And then we collect those bags throughout the month of November, and then we donate that to Feeding America. This year we had about 2,000 pounds of food donated to Feeding America. I don't know exactly how many people that feeds, but about 2,000 pounds of food. But we also have a Halloween event every year at the Daylard Park, and then we also do an Easter egg hunt there as well, just for the community, just so people can get together, get out, meet their neighbors, get to have an opportunity to be in the community, have an event there.
So, Billy, real estate in the area, 92120 has been a very strong year. Real quick, what do you think will happen for 2016?
Right now, I think that 2016 we're going to see rising prices slightly, not tremendous, but I think we're going to have a good market. We've got people who are still buying and selling right now. The interest rates are remaining low. Even if they go up a little bit, we still have people have equity in their home, and people still need to move. So So it's going to be strong. In Del Cerro, we're a little bit insulated. People have been there for so long.
That's right.
That you have an opportunity now to cash in on some of that equity that's been in that property for the last 20 years, and then purchase something maybe a little bit newer.
Yeah, and you've got, when you have tight-knit communities like this, people don't leave.
Right.
So I expect the exact same thing as you do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. No, thank you. The awkward ending.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. Pay attention. Don't do this. Billy, appreciate your time today, man. It's been great. Thanks for bringing Alex. Alex, thank you so much for coming in today. And all the great work you're doing with Kiwanis in the community of Grantville-Allied Gardens. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
The next guest on Smarter San Diego is our multi-family apartment building connection. Please welcome back to the show, Voltaire Lepe, and his special guest, housing expert, Ruben Islas.
All right, welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thank you.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Walter, good to see you again, my friend.
Thank you.
You wanted to bring Ruben in today. Tell us why.
Yeah, of course. I want to bring Ruben in just because he's an expert in affordable housing, and there's a huge crisis here in California and San Diego, especially. We don't have enough affordable units. So I wanted to bring Ruben in just to kind of highlight what's going on, the issue at hand, and any answers that could basically resolve what's going on here with the housing issue.
Yeah, I'm curious, Ruben.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, by the way.
Sure.
What does affordable housing mean? I don't know if a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, there's a history to it. It used to be where it was Section 8 housing. I think everyone's pretty familiar with Section 8 housing, which had a HUD component to it. That was actually eradicated a long time ago. So now, for affordable housing, there's a partnership between the federal government and individual states. The state of California and the federal government work together to create units that are rented to people at a reduced rent based on certain income qualifications.
Gotcha.
So in San Diego, if you make less than $50,000 a year, you can move into an affordable unit and pay around $1,000 a month for a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom unit.
Wow.
It's a great project, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's obviously needed because it's expensive to live here.
Yeah, there's a huge crisis. Well, the problem is we're losing the brain trust. I mean, we are educating all these young people who can't afford to live in San Diego. But you think about it, it's our firefighters, anybody making less than $50,000 a year. I think that's a lot of people, right? So one of the biggest issues we're having is for baby boomers because they're getting older and they need caregivers. Our caregivers can't afford to live in San Diego. They have to leave. So they're leaving for Austin, they're leaving for other places in Texas, they're leaving for other states. So the state of California is in an absolute crisis to try to retain our talent.
And so when it comes to this, there's a state law, right, that requires each city to have a certain amount of units that are, but I don't know if anyone's enforcing it or not. I mean,
They are. The problem is this. There was a big lawsuit in Los Angeles by a developer who will remain nameless, and he won in California State Supreme Court that he didn't have to provide affordable housing.
Really?
Yeah, so that was humongous. There's a big loss for the
Ouch.
affordable housing advocates. So one of the incentives that has been approved by the state of California is that now they're saying, okay, we understand that we've lost this battle, but the war can be won in a bigger way. And the bigger way it can be won is simply this. If you work with us to create units, us being the state and affordable housing developers like me, to try to create units, we will work with you in giving you incentives that can make working in a market rate environment and an affordable housing environment exactly the same for a seller. That's huge.
So hold on. So you're telling me if I own a multi-unit building, for example, I want to create affordable housing units, I don't have to sell it at a discount?
You don't. You used to, it was a bit of a battle. Well, interest rates are very low. We all know what's happening. So prices of apartment complexes have become very high. The state couldn't compete. The federal government couldn't compete.
Makes sense.
So we weren't creating enough units. We need an immediate delivery of units in the state of California of 50,000 units.
Right now?
Immediately. Today. Okay? But what they've done is that they've made some changes along with federal government to allow affordable housing developers to compete and in many cases surpass a market rate buyer.
How?
What they have done is they have allowed private companies, Google, Verizon, Nationwide Insurance, who are some of our clients, to come in and purchase tax credits from the federal government that are allocated by a state agency. We then use that as equity, combined with a tax-exempt note from Bank of America, Union Bank, to come in and combine those two sources to drop rents for renters and purchase properties at fair market value from someone like you, right, who would be like, I want to do the right thing, I want to help out, help solve this crisis, but you can't leave money on the table. I mean, we're all human, right? You don't have to anymore. Now, we can do both.
That's incredible.
It is. It's really great. It's great news. It really is great.
We need 50,000 units like yesterday.
Yeah.
So this is a great opportunity, Voltaire, for people not just want to do the right thing. Maybe people say, hey, it might be top of the market. I want to sell my building. I think there's a high demand for multi-units. And I'd like to do the right thing, if I could. This would be a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, this would be a great opportunity for them to basically cash out on their property if they're thinking about selling, or even if they're not thinking of selling and they're just thinking of, helping in California and just retain, like you mentioned, teachers, writers, artists, people that really contribute to society. I think a big stigma that affordable housing has is it's people that maybe don't care or don't have jobs and things like that, but it's far from that. So this is a perfect time that they could contribute, and even if they don't end up selling or they don't want to sell, they could partner up with Ruben, and Ruben could basically help them convert their deal into affordable
That's
housing.
another great point. The state of California, along with the federal government, has now allowed a seller to both sell at fair market and be on the purchasing side in the partnership.
No kidding.
Yes, because it's such a need. So they're doing everything, bending over backward to solve this issue. So I can come to you, we can cut a deal, right? I'm going to buy your property through a new limited partnership, okay? And you do an exchange, whatever you need to do for tax purposes, but you're going to be partners with me in this new affordable housing project.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
I wish I owned an apartment building. I mean, because there's certain times when there's a need, and then the government steps in, and the way that they solve problems is by throwing money at it.
Right.
Okay, it's not always the right solution, but in this case, it's really, really good because it allows people to get the best of both worlds. I mean, you never get that in real estate, Voltaire.
No, you don't. And just to emphasize on exactly how big the crisis is, have you ever tried renting a property?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we do property management, and as soon as we put a sign up, we get 30 to 40 phone calls within a couple of days. Okay, and then from there we get all the emails from online advertising and things like that. What it makes it almost impossible for the tenant to get it at an affordable price. Number one, they have a lot of competition. Number two, an average unit in San Diego, for example, in the year 2000 was $1,000 a month. Now it's $1,700 a month. And people's incomes, they're not at that level. They're not catching up to how fast rents are increasing. So, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a really big crisis. And Point Loma Nazarene University came out with a study recently that said in order to catch up with the number of units that San Diego needs, we need to be building 11,000 new homes a year. We're only at 5,500 so far this year.
Wow. Well, and the other opportunity here is landowners. There are a lot of people who own land, and for whatever reason, it's too small, it's too big, whatever the case may be. Part of this new program, and what's really a very important opportunity to understand here, is that because of the changes that they've made, that the state and the federal government have made, they make it possible now for affordable housing developers to build new construction and work with owners. So if you own a piece of land, right, you're like, well, what should I do with it? Give us a call. We can analyze it. We can take a look at it for you. If it qualifies for affordable housing, then between Google, let Google pay, right? Between Google, Bank of America, we'll put together a limited partnership that will develop your project. Google gets a mortgage payment. I mean, Bank of America gets a mortgage payment. Google gets a tax credit. The state of California gets new units, and you get the cash flow.
Wow. That's just incredible.
It is incredible. It is
a
incredible.
win-win. So if I'm an apartment owner or a land owner or just a multi-unit building owner, I can call you, I can call or text the number on the screen right now.
Right.
And what'll happen?
Well, what we'll do is we will get your information, right? We'll get an address. We'll take it now with Google Maps. I'm doing a lot of marketing for Google.
You don't need to.
Google.
You don't need to. Don't
worry. What we'll do within 24 to 48 hours is that we will contact you. We'll take a look. We'll do an analysis. And no games here. This is very straightforward. This is not, it's very all set in stone. They made it very black and white. We will be able to tell you what we can pay for your property, what the closing period will be, and we will give you the opportunity to sit down and discuss it with us if you'd like, and if not, we can communicate with you via email. But it's very straightforward. We can let you know what we can do together to try to solve this crisis.
Yeah, and it really is a big deal here, especially in San Diego. It's tough when we see it right in our own backyard, people who just can't afford to live here anymore. I mean, I see it every day on Facebook. I'm packing up, now we're leaving. We're headed to Texas, or we're headed to Ohio. Just couldn't take it anymore. You see it every day. I mean, it's really a big deal. So it's great that you guys are out there doing this great work in the community. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. And Voltaire, great idea for today's show, because I have never heard in all of my years in the real estate world, we're talking about 12 years, not that long, but I've never heard of such a win-win-win all the way around like this before. I mean, never heard of anything like this. So for us to be able to get this message out and to be able to promote this to people who are property owners and who have land, I think this is going to help create a situation, a circumstance where we could potentially solve, or at least start to peck away at the solution for this housing crisis in California.
And I completely agree, and that's why I asked Ruben to come on, because he's an expert. He's developed over 5,000 units, and he knows what he's doing, and I wouldn't have brought on anyone else that isn't, him, and just because of the experience that he has.
Okay, fantastic stuff, guys. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
The next guest on Smarter San Diego TV is our Carlsbad community correspondent, joined by a special guest from Casa de Amparo. Please welcome back Mr. Carlsbad himself, Brian DeVore and Sean Berkshire.
All right. Is that how you said the last name, Sean?
Got it right. Got it right.
That is pretty good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. You guys do so much amazing work. Brian, you've been a big supporter of this charity for a long time.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell me about your passion behind it and why you wanted to bring Sean into it.
Yeah, so you know that I've been working with Casa de Amparo for years. Started doing some volunteer work with them, and then in my business supported the work that they do for helping abused and neglected children. And every year they do a holiday drive, and I thought now would be a good opportunity to bring someone like Sean on the show to talk about the wonderful work that they do.
Yeah, this is that kind of that time of year where everyone's in the giving spirit, right?
It's the biggest time of year for us. So the more help we can get with the community support, the better.
Yeah. Now tell me, what do you do? First of all, what does Casa de Amparo mean?
So Casa de Amparo literally means home of protection in English.
Really?
So it was actually started in 1978 by a group of women in Oceanside who thought kids needed a place to go, especially kids aging out of the foster care system that really don't have a lot to turn to. And from there it's grown to 2 campuses, one in San Marcos, one in Oceanside, a child care development center in Oceanside, and then also a new housing placement for kids who have aged out of the foster system in Oceanside as well. So it's been absolutely fantastic to work for them the last year, and just to see them grow has been amazing.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people kind of know that there are needy individuals out there.
Sure.
They know that there are kids who are starving in Africa, if you will. That's what I was told when I was a kid, right? You got to finish your plate. There are kids starving in Africa.
Right.
Definitely.
But there are kids that are starving, that are homeless right here in San Diego.
Huge. I mean, we affect about 1,000 kids a year. So kids from little babies to kids who are 18 and over aging out of the system. I mean, one of the biggest things that we do is we're not only trying to raise money for programs, but we want to rehabilitate these kids. So a lot of the things that we take in are shampoo bottles, clothes, food, things that are tangible gifts, where some people who might be leery about giving because you don't know where the dollar goes, you can actually donate a shampoo bottle that a kid will use who otherwise doesn't have an opportunity to do that.
Wow. That's extremely powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. And so with this holiday drive, everybody here in San Diego will have an opportunity to give the 13th through the 17th, which is in a couple weeks. Our holiday donation center is in San Marcos, so it's a central location. You can stop there, drop off cash, gifts. We also have our kids' wish lists on our website. So if you go there, you can actually see wish lists that are tailored per individual kid. So you can kind of give Bobby or Jane the Christmas that they want because they're getting a little collection of gifts rather than just some random.
That is really neat. So
awesome.
you allow someone to be able to give directly to the child
Directly.
what they've asked for.
What they've asked for.
Wow.
So, I mean, and that's the bit, but like I said, we can use anything. We don't say no. So a toy, a piece of clothing, movie tickets, something that the kids would love, we'll take any of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
Thanks.
I want to pledge a donation to you
Cool.
right now.
Awesome.
So I'm going to kick off the first $100.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to give you the first $100
Cool.
for today. Now, the 13th annual drive.
Yes.
It's happening mid-December, but you're always open to accepting donations for these kids.
Definitely. So 24/7, please visit our website, which is www.casadeamparo.org, and there's tabs there you can see ways to give. So there's monetary gifts. You can give time. You can volunteer. I know right now we're looking for gardening volunteers who want to come up and help plant a garden. You don't need any experience necessary other than the fact that you just want to be with kids outside.
I've been thinking about stuff like that a lot lately.
Sure.
For charitable organizations, especially people who or organizations that feed people.
Sure.
Creating some sort of sustainable garden or something where the food can just grow for free.
Yeah.
Because we can grow stuff here. It's California.
It's huge. So right now the kids are working on their salsa garden. So they've planted everything specifically in this garden: cilantro, sage, onions, and we're going to try to start this Casa Kids salsa kind of thing. I mean, I know one of the things that our executive director would love to see in the future is having some sort of established business the kids could kind of run, because that allows them future planning, budgeting, all of those life skills that a lot of them miss out on. So you're totally right. I mean, fun things like a garden are exactly what we're looking for in terms of giving.
I would like for you to give me an introduction to whoever I need to talk to about that.
Definitely.
Because I would love to help make that happen.
Sure.
In some way.
Sure. The best place to go is go on www.casadeamparo.org and click on the volunteer tab or the giving tab. Other than that, I mean, I can put you in touch with the best people there.
Definitely.
Our volunteer coordinator.
I'm counting on it.
Celeste Lampion. She's great. She just had a baby, so congratulations, Celeste.
Yay.
Cool.
But yeah, we'll definitely get, if anybody needs information, please visit our website, give us a call. We'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction.
Okay.
A couple of
Fantastic
things
stuff.
that I've always liked about Casa de Amparo. Number one, they have so many different programs for kids of all ages. So whether you are you don't have any parents, or you're in an abusive situation where they're trying to take the child out of an abusive situation, there's programs for everybody. The other thing I like too is you talk about donating $100. 87 is that the number?
That's correct.
87 of that $100 is
goes
going
to the
right
kids.
to the kids.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
Which is really tough.
Yes,
It's tough to do. You got to run a very tight ship in order to make
exactly. So they keep a very well run, lean organization with people like Shawn who are fantastic. Volunteers. I volunteer on the public relations committee, so a lot of volunteers help out as well, which allows most of the money to go where it's needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you were just volunteering at a Chargers game not too long ago.
That's right.
He's our stud. he's gotten the most money raised at the Charger games this year.
That's
by
awesome.
far.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely.
Fantastic stuff. So 13th annual drive going on right now. Visit the website on the screen right now. Make a small donation. I'm donating $100 today to get things started. Want to match me? Can you do it? You probably can. You probably can. It's just $100. You won't miss it. It'll be the best Christmas gift you give all season long. I guarantee you that. And if you've got it in you, raise the ante. Raise me up. Make me look small. Put $1,000 on there. Put $10,000 on there. Whatever you can do, it all helps, and 87% goes directly to the kids, which is fantastic stuff.
That's
Great
awesome.
work you guys are doing. Really appreciate it. Yeah, question.
I was going to say the least you can do is go through your closet or go through your kids' toys, your bathroom cabinets, and find anything to donate.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, clothes do have to be new. That's that's the only stipulation there. But toys, general use is fine. I mean, we just can't have gruddy, because the last thing these kids want to get is a used, a hand-me-down type toy. So we do stress newer toys, but like I said, furniture is always a big one for us too. So bedding, Couches, slightly used, we'll take it, and we'll divvy it up to the kids in our apartments that we keep.
It's great stuff, Shawn.
Awesome.
Well done, my friend.
Cool.
Brian.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about Carlsbad. What you're Mr. Carlsbad.
Yes.
I only have a few minutes with you. I got to ask you.
Right.
So, what's going on in Carlsbad, and what can we kind of take from what's happening in Carlsbad to the real estate market too?
Okay. So, just real briefly on the real estate market. Market is very healthy right now in Carlsbad. We've talked before about the Home Dex report and how that talks about what does the market look like in every zip code throughout the county. This month, just talking about the 92008 zip code, there are half as many homes for sale as there were last year, yet there are the same number of sales. So what does that usually mean? Prices are going to keep going up. In only 2 months of inventory. So if you're thinking about selling, now's a great time. If you're thinking about buying, now's a great time as well. In addition to what's happening in real estate, if you go to mrcarlsbad.com, you can get more information about the Home Dex. You can text me or get information on the zip code you want, but you can also see what's happening throughout Carlsbad for the holidays. So if you want to see where the lights are, you want to see where to spend New Year's, all the different happenings that are going on are all going to be on mrcarlsbad.com. And then just a couple other real quick things that are happening in Carlsbad. The city is going to be voting on maybe putting in some new parks or upping the ante, as you said, on some parks with some zip lines and some other outdoor adventures. Hey. So that could be kind of fun.
Count me in.
Exactly. So lots of good things going on in the city right now.
Okay, so the Home Dex report, that's the specific report that you showed me before where you've got all the different data about a zip code. A given zip code tells you what's going on in that area.
Right.
Median prices, high prices, low prices, all that stuff.
Right.
So if people want to know what's going on in the neighborhood, what did the neighbor's home sell for, all that stuff. Of course, you can always call Brian for that information.
That's right.
If you want to get the report and get it on a regular basis, just to kind of keep tabs of things,
correct.
That's what Home Dex is for.
Correct. And my number's right there on the screen. You can send me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I'm happy to provide that for you.
Yeah, and it's free. Totally free.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very, very cool stuff. Really appreciate you guys being here today. This is great work that you're doing in the community, Brian. Thank you so much for everything that you do to support this amazing effort that they're trying to make. And all of the stuff that you guys are doing for the community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
The next guest on Smarter San Diego TV is our Scripps Ranch community correspondent. Please welcome back to the show, Scott Ryan.
There he is, Scotty.
Hey,
what's
Derek?
up, man?
Good to see you, buddy. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
So I'm happy today because I have you all to myself.
Yep.
we haven't talked about Scripps Ranch real estate, just you and me, for quite some time, and it's really been an interesting year, hasn't it?
It's been great. It's been busy. The community is thriving. Real estate values are sound and moving in the right direction, which is always a positive thing.
Right, and developments are happening, stuff is going on. There's new things happening in Scripps Ranch for the first time, the senior community that's being constructed. Our planning segment had a huge following. Everyone was interested to know what's going on with Whole Foods and all that stuff, so things have been really good over there, and people have really been paying attention to the show and communicating with us through that. So tell us, give us a mini recap for Scripps Ranch 2015.
As far as real estate values are concerned, it's performed very well. We are going to fall a little bit short as far as the number of sales. We currently have year-to-date 450 sold properties. There's 61 pending sales. Last year we had 558 closed sales. So we'll fall just short of that number, but a lot of that has to do with our shortage of inventory.
I was going to say, how much does that really... Is that a sign of a strong market or a weak market? Because it sounds weak, but I think it's actually strong, isn't it?
It is. And if you actually, I'm going to pull some graphs up for the people to show here, but if you look at our new listing inventory, over the course of the last 3 years, this year has been one of the lowest. In fact, our strongest month for new listings was back in, I think, March or April. We had 77 new listings. Prior years in 2014 and 2013, we had 110, 95, and so we're nearing some lows that are unprecedented when it comes to inventory in Scripps Ranch.
That's just a factor of people just not leaving, right? People come and they stay.
Absolutely.
They don't go anywhere.
Absolutely.
And when that happens, you just it shrinks out the amount of available potential homes that could even come on the market. should someone decide to leave.
Yeah, and that's why you haven't seen a huge change in the median price. I mean, the median price right now for a single-family detached is around $825. For a condo, you can expect to pay around $388. So the price per square foot is just nail on the head, right around between $325 and $327 a square foot. So those numbers I expect over the course of the next year to just continue to basically slowly rise. But I don't think you're going to see a huge change unless we see a big change in the inventory levels.
Yeah, which how could that even happen?
Yeah.
It's not like they're, building high rises in Scripps Ranch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know what would cause something like that to even happen.
Yeah.
Or if it's even possible, really, at this point.
Well, the one thing that may happen, I think that a lot of people feel that maybe, we've had our huge runs. I mean, 2013 was a huge run in real estate values. 2014 was okay. 2015 has been great. But I expect the inventory levels to be a little bit better this year. Given the fact that they're going to start building the Glen. They have 400 people from Scripps Ranch that have given deposits and are signed up. They want to move. So
they have 400 deposits already?
Correct. Yeah. So you will see
That's incredible.
A lot of people from Scripps Ranch that maybe want to retire, that live in the community. So over the course of the next year or two, I'm expecting our inventory levels to hopefully, fingers crossed, because that'll help the buyers that are actively wanting to move in our community have more access to properties.
Right.
Whether the affordability goes up or down, who will tell? I mean, rates will be a huge indicator for that, but the desirability, the lack of inventory is going to keep our prices consistent, and I'm hoping for slow growth over the next few years.
Yeah, stable growth is always good,
Sure.
for any marketplace. That's always kind of keeps things, consistent and everyone, comfortable.
Yeah.
When home values go up too much, then people start doing crazy stuff.
Sure. Sure.
But that would be a great thing for buyers. I mean, I don't know what do you tell a buyer who's looking at Scripps Ranch these days?
Well, it's funny. I pulled the graphs and I was looking at, what are the best time, and everyone says the best time to buy is around Christmas and this and that, but I actually looked at the numbers in detail. And over the course of the last 3 years, our lowest price per square foot, and to me it seems like the best time to buy a house in Scripps, has been right around that February, March timeframe. And I think a lot of that has to do with maybe, sellers are getting ready to put their houses on the market, and maybe there's been sellers from the winter months that have been prolonged on the marketplace. But I even broke it down further. I went from just detached to just condo. I eliminated Stonebridge. And although the spikes weren't as great, they were still consistent where those months were the best times to buy. So I think we're approaching that time of year. If you're a home buyer looking to buy in Scripps, I think it may even come a little bit earlier this year, because I think there are going to be a lot of sellers that are going to jump into the market ahead of that spring rush. Maybe they want to move up to a better property, a bigger home, so.
Yeah, or renters in Scripps who've been waiting or been looking for the opportune time to buy now have that information. They can say, all right, let's make sure we have our month-to-month lease in place around that time, and then we can really start aggressively looking, because in Scripps, like in many of the desirable areas of San Diego, you better be ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go kick tires and stuff like that. You see a house that's good and you like it and you can afford it and you want it, you better jump on it.
Yeah, I gave you another graph, which is great, which we'll throw up on the screen here, but it's basically the average market time. I mean, if you look at the county averages, in the last 3 years, there's been only 4 months where the average market time in Scripps Ranch has been higher than the county. So
wow,
you have to be ready to go, especially if you're in that initial price point of $600 to $750. You have to be pre-approved, set to go, and ready to be a decision maker.
Yeah, no question. And here we are in the holiday season, right in the midst of the holiday season. Now you just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And we all have a lot to be thankful for. You have a beautiful family, but you just had your client appreciation party, too, because it's been a great year for you.
Yeah, it was great. I just want to give a big thanks to all my clients who have been not only great clients to have, but great referral sources. We had our party at the Orfila Vineyard in Escondido. It was a beautiful day, perfect time of year. The sun was out, did some wine tasting, had some laughs, and just had a chance to share moments with clients and ask about their families, talk about their kids, talk about what's going on in their lives. We didn't talk any real estate, which is great. It's just a moment to give thanks and to really appreciate my clients and how they've helped me have one of my best years in real estate ever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm expecting a big year in 2016 for Scott Ryan, too.
Yeah.
Mr. Scripps Ranch. Yeah, I think it's a big year. I think so. What do you predict will happen in 2016? I know, Zillow and Truly, all these places, they have their predictions out there, or they're projecting certain things.
Sure.
What do you think?
I touched on this earlier, but I think it's going to be a slow growth. I mean, I know a lot of people like to resonate with Zillow and they identify with it. So I did look up some of their stats. And one of the interesting things is they have, a buyer's market and they get a seller's market, and there's a temperature in the middle, They have Scripps Ranch as a warm market, which is leaning more towards the seller's side of things. And I think that's spot on. I mean, honestly, given the lack of inventory of what's out there, sellers still have a slight upper hand in the marketplace in Scripps Ranch. They're predicting prices to go up 1.2% in the next year. So I think Zillow's hit the nail on the head.
You do. They got it right.
This one time, right? We'll take it with a grain of salt. No one's got a crystal ball, but I think things are trending in the right direction, and they've hit it on the head there. So.
Okay, yeah, and it makes sense, and it sounds about right.
Sure.
What do they say, Rebecca? Did they say it in England? Broken clock is right twice a day, or something like that.
Yeah.
Did they say that in England?
Probably.
I thought it was an English
Probably.
saying. I could be wrong. But as far as developments are concerned, we mentioned the Glen.
Yeah.
Any updates on Whole Foods by chance?
It's funny. I was on the SRCA website, thescripsranch.org. We had Bob on the show, and I was checking out some new updates on their website. And lo and behold, they posted a new website for the Watermark, which is where the Whole Foods is going to be. The website is thewatermarksandiego.com. Clicked on the video. They've got an awesome 1-minute video rendering of the setup, what's going to be there. But the one thing that kind of caught my eye is at the very top corner of the page, they've got a Whole Foods store, and it says executed lease. So to me, the ball is rolling, and this is going to happen. I mean, right now there's a beautiful Christmas tree lot out there, so go support our local Christmas tree lot and go buy your tree there. But as soon as those trees are gone, I'm not sure when they're going to break down ground, but I'm hoping it's really soon. I watched the video like 3 times last night because it's the single biggest negative, and I don't talk about negatives of Scripps Ranch very often, but the lack of restaurants, the lack of amenities, the lack of things to do, from that perspective, retail, that's the one thing that we're lacking. And I think it's really important for this to happen. Now, other people are going to argue it's going to impact traffic and this and that. It's going to be a nightmare. Listen, it's going to be amazing, and I really cannot wait for it. So
yeah, going to be great stuff.
So
for sure.
we're going to, coming into this year, my plan is to bring more community leaders on the show, bring a lot of content and information that's relevant, not only to the show, but to the residents and my fellow neighbors, because I think people identify with that and they want to hear more about it. So I'm definitely looking forward to 2016.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you on the show and all the great guests that you bring along with you. And of course, don't forget, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Scripps Ranch, Scott Ryan is your guy. Whether it's you or someone you know who's looking, he is our Scripps Ranch expert and the only person I trust to send you with to Scripps Ranch to buy or sell real estate. Scott, appreciate your time.
Thanks,
man.
Derek.
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
a great
it,
year.
man. Yep.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.
Hey, great show, guys. That's a wrap. Jade, what's your schedule look like? Do you mind breaking down the set?
Not today, Derek. I'd love to, but there's waves out there. I gotta go. Angela? Nikki?
Yeah, I gotta go beat traffic. And I think Nikki's making something up there.
Look at this. We did this. We did all of this.